Greetings, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Simmer Chase, and today is episode number 60. Yes, 60. So we're taking episode 3 speed build, yes, the Old Mill Suburban Chase, and I've converted it into the Poolside Modern Mansion and added it to my Modern Mansion collection. Yes, so funny story, we built it a long time ago and I left it. I moved it onto another lot because the gallery view was awful. So it inspired me to make a list that I'm still working on to basically show which kind of layout is optimal for the gallery view. Because yeah, I was super disappointed. No views, no download, nothing. Nobody liked it because they couldn't see it. It was covered in trees in the side, and you can only see the side. So I was like, when we get enough content, let's make this into something cool. So I did. We went with an Empire Deco theme here and the conversion. And you're going to see a lot of before and afters. You're going to see a lot of clever cuts that kind of like show both together and merge as they become molded and change. So you're going to see that like metamorphosis kind of happen. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. So without any further ado, make sure to hit the subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I have a lot more stories coming. And then also, yes, make sure to hit the like if you think it's cool. And then the comments, if you have any suggestions, I really appreciate it. I use all the feedback that I possibly can get because this is always a continuous learning thing. So if you see from day one of my build videos to now, definitely a huge change. I learned quite a bit and then I took all that info and put it into this video. So without any further ado, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Find me on Twitter as well. I do a lot of my schedule stuff and share all that. And then also Twitch, I do a lot of live video as well where we're building together. I'm so excited. Oh, yay. Here you go. Let's go ahead and dive in now. Yay. Oh my gosh. Simmer Chase. Boom. Simmer Chase. Yay, oh my gosh, I am so excited, everybody. So here's the beginnings basically of where we were and now where we're going with it. So the first thing I love is going out and doing all the exterior and getting it together so I can kind of get a general theme. So the first thing you see me doing is kind of like just ripping everything off that I didn't want. And then over time you see me like really just sort of really form and mold the whole design. So it pretty much stays the same through the whole build video because I would just like immediately have this idea in my mind. I don't know, I'd have some weird dream and it was just like, I wanted to get this video built or like do this build and get it finished because I've got so many that I've been working on. And I was like, I want to come back to this one and get it done because it's been so long and I want to do a speed build for it because it was like one of our very first that we did here on the channel. And so I just wanted to kind of like bring it back home and do full circle with this one. And with that, I want to just make sure that it really had like the essence of everything that I've learned since this third one and kind of the views from the gallery. And I'm working on a list now to kind of show like the optimal sort of angles maybe, and then different sorts of layouts for houses that might make sense and then suggestion number 2 is go ahead and hit up there in the top the little like to pretend like you're gonna upload it, but don't upload it, just so then you can see like once you get your exterior laid out you can just really get a good view of what it's gonna look like in front, because like it might end up being disappointing to you when you go to upload it and then you're like crud, and by then you've already done your design totally and it's like set in place and you're just like dang, so that's what really happened to me here I was like dang it, no one wants to download this. It had no like views or anything, and so I moved it, but then I left this original in place and was like someday I will utilize that same shell for something totally different, but I don't know what it's gonna be yet. And then once we started getting a lot more of this Art Deco content, I knew immediately I wanted to do some sort of industrial deco vibe. And I'm very familiar with the Empire Deco theme, which is what you'd see like the Chrysler Building or basically a lot of like big towers, you know, that kind of stuff. And then a lot more of like, it's just more like stone, rustic materials that are used a little bit more, and like featured on factories back in the day, and maybe like distribution facilities. They were kind of building those out at the time too. So it may have been like a milk place, with like refrigeration. That was a big problem back in the day. So there was a lot of refrigeration places everywhere because you just couldn't go very far away with it. So that was one of the big deals. And then I really wanted to kind of create a lot of like really fun like accents in this, and just no matter which way it was on the gallery, that no matter what, it had a really neat view, and then it looked good day and night, just like all of the other builds that I really like to build. This one was like just super important to me to make sure that it really kind of like had the essence of me in it, and was just a pure thought out total invention of mine, because many of them that I do, they, you know, they kind of have like a different design hue or undertone that like actually exists in real life, because I really like to do a lot of like true to life builds. And then this one I just wanted to go very experimental with, like I've been doing on my Twitch channel. So it's just been a lot of fun to be able to kind of experiment a lot more with architecture, as I've learned even more in the last few years. And then just kind of like different suggestions here on ways to lay out stuff too. So as I start putting together this pool, you'll see I actually get rid of, I finally looked it up and figured out how to get rid of the foundations. And then the only thing I realized was, oh, there it goes. So the only thing I realized, and now you've got the glass, so it looks like it's actually like sort of like a zoo or like an aquarium a little bit. But basically I did that so then you could just like see through it. And it took me forever to learn that. And that's one of those tricks that I actually learned this year. Oh, and then there's Goldie Hen, yay. Hi, Goldie Hen, we love her. So there's Goldie Hen, you know, after Goldie Hawn, but Goldie Hen. So she's here, and I just wanted to put a little comic relief in here and just kind of like goof a little and just kind of like laugh, because I was sitting here trying to do the tour basically, and then all of a sudden the Sims decided that they wanted to do something else. So I ended up like popping this into the video. I was like, let's just kind of like laugh about this a little bit, and then kind of like just kind of joke, because like seriously, I just was like, let's prove something here. How quick can we like get the gardener on our side, or, you know, like something goofy. And then she was just like crazy and just madness. So this is like the family here at the house basically at this point. So, and then here's their lineage, and she actually dates back to Judith Ward. So she is a great descendant of Judith Ward in my save file. And then Christy Bonds is her mom, so that's kind of why you're seeing all of this here. And sometimes I like to just kind of go off the beaten path a little bit. And so here is their little like family story, basically, you know, sort of going on, so you could kind of see that a little bit there. And now I'm coming in the office and grabbing all that, because I was like, you know, the office, I loved it. That's one of the few rooms I was like fairly confident in, but I was like, I need to take this way more deco and just make it really to the nines and make it much more like luxe feeling with that area. So I really wanted to just go like over the top for it. And then, you know, like I was like, now that I've expanded the kitchen out as much as I did, I was like, I don't need to have like a giant formal dining room. So I wanted to use that maybe for like something else. So you'll see in a little bit in the video what that's gonna be, what that becomes. But right now, this little sort of area of the house, and that area of the house ends up becoming like a really cool office. And then, yeah, we have that dining room area over there too. And then of course the kitchen, I'm expanding out now. So I kept waffling on the design a little bit and trying to figure out like how big of a kitchen I could fit here, but give it a better layout than I had before, because it was sort of like a long skinny galley. And so there's the dining room, and I love taking that chandelier and just making it big. And then of course plants, and decor, and all kinds of clutter. Love the clutter. And I love those new lights too. Like I'm so stoked that we got those new lamps with the high school years pack. So I was in the process of building this when that came around. So I was like really stoked. So that's the like most recent kit that came out, or pack that came out since this. And I just really love pergolas, and I like the idea of outdoor-indoor living, so that's really what I wanted this build to exude more than anything, and then just kind of a lot of fine detail. So like you saw there with me like adding in those lights inside of that. And then here you're gonna start seeing me develop the curtain wall. So I made like a really fun curtain wall here because then I was trying to give it more of that very strong Empire Deco vibe, because no matter which way you look at my build, I want you to be able to understand or kind of realize what it is without having to ask many questions. Because I'm cool answering questions, but I think it's much more neat when people can kind of spot a design style and not have to ask what kind it is or like what it is. It's just like, oh, modern and industrial and with a deco flair, which is what the Empire Deco is. So it's just a lot of like very strong detail, but really it's more about the scale and size of things, and then just kind of giving it more of like easy edges rather than having them like sloped and clean edges. They're a lot more just strong, firm edges, like, you know, a lot of angles and squares and things rather than things being like whimsy. But I still gave it some whimsy moments because, yes, a lot of this era of design actually was meant to showcase lighting and the ability to light your house, or the ability to have public lighting or outdoor lighting. And some of the first buildings that were lit were in the 20s and 30s, you know, and like the late teens, if you were lucky, but basically 20s, 30s, and people would drive out and see the builds and your building because it was something to look at because it was all lit up. And then that's really what kind of got Vegas going, because people would go out there and look at the lighting as well. And that was like one of the sideshows to the casinos, was just all that really beautiful lighting. So I really like taking that sort of concept and really putting it into my deco builds, because again, that's really what was so important back then, was really showing that electricity was safe and that it was useful and that it was good, you know, for the world. And then it just kind of became an attraction more than anything. And there's me using Tool. So you're going to find me using Tool a little bit more as well. I really kind of mastered Tool at this point, I would say. And it was a long time coming. It took a while, and it took me a lot of like trial and error and patience and like understanding of like how the scale works, and then understanding how like the scale of like moving things. And I tell anyone that starts at the beginning to start with a small scale, like 0.01 or 0.05 or 0.1, because like it's hard to realize like how things actually work with the scale until you kind of get into it a little bit, and then you see that, oh, like 1 is actually like way up here. So here I am doing a DIY fireplace, as you saw. So I've got a couple of these here in the build. Basically, I replicated this fireplace in the basement as well. And in the previous build, I kind of had a dingy, like, meh basement, and it wasn't really anything to call home about. And then I had built kind of a little basement in the other one when Laundry Day came out. And then I just took the very original one that didn't have the laundry and then started over with the basement. So now we have like this really fun, like more of like downstairs basement-y vibe, which was hilarious that I was thinking of this like grungy basement idea a little bit. And now we have the grungy basement content. So I really like how it seems almost like The Sims is growing with me as well through my whole life. So it just kind of has felt like that. So now the basement's coming together. It's really cozy. I squeeze in a couple bedrooms down here as well with bathrooms and closets. So I really like doing like full suites, basically, where you have like a really nice full feature, like 3 or 4 piece bathroom. Plus then you've got like the bedroom that's of a primary bedroom size. And then you also have like a walk-through or walk-in closet. And I usually try and do some sort of like circular sort of flow. So here's the outside, because again, the outdoor, indoor living. So we have a lot more of that coming in now. And then it really makes for a really fun atmosphere. So maybe it's windy on one side of the house and you're just like, nah, I don't. Then you could go to the other side of the house. Because like if you've got a mansion like this, you're not gonna wanna sacrifice. So here we go. Now I'm putting in one of the walk-in closets. I'm really, really excited about like the opportunity with the walk-in closets as they keep growing this. But I've had a lot of breakage, and I don't know if you guys have had that issue, but I've had times where some of my closets break. So I apologize if you download some of my builds on the gallery and then, you know, like the first time it loads, it's fine, but then like the second time it loads, it's always like weird for me, and I don't know why, but then it usually will like delete it. Or like knock off like a few of the pieces of my closets, and it's random. It's not every closet, and it's not even, sometimes it's not even the most complicated closets, because I really like to do like more like the very intricate like build pieces. Legos and Lincoln Logs were really an important piece of my life before The Sims when I was very little. So that's kind of like what really shaped some of my like initial being able to like fit things together, I think. And then it's just kind of easy for me to be able to look at a space and then kind of carve out in my mind of, okay, well, you could fit a bathroom here, a bedroom here, closet, all that, and then how the flow would work. And it's almost like I can blink my eyes and see the layout. But it's just, I've been doing so many of these now for so many years, and then like professionally as well now. So it's just been a lot of fun to be able to like take it full circle in my life and be able to take The Sims and bring it back here to my career, and then take my career stuff back to The Sims. So I work for a commercial brokerage firm where I help people, well, investors with like high net worth clients. And I work as a graphics designer, and then we help people either get financing to build or buy, or we help sell commercial real estate. So that's everything from like 15 to 25 million US dollars and up. So we do a lot of like towers, we do a lot of apartment mixed use complexes, apartment complexes, big industrial warehouses, millions of square feet of those. So it's like just a lot of different things, and sometimes it could be a creative reuse of like an old factory or an old building that we then convert into like a hotel, and then try and pitch that as well. So I help with everything from like renderings and design ideas for possible reuses to like pretty much all different kinds of marketing for the building. So it's like logos, creative branding, design, architecture, suggestions, you know, or like layout suggestions, just all different kinds of stuff like that. And then also like logos, websites, all the graphics design work, marketing materials, all that I make and do as well. And then hand it to the broker, and then they go and sell it or get the money to build it or whatever. So here's the progress of our build so far. So it's just kind of gonna show you here a little bit of what our views are gonna be. So I like to kind of preview those as well as I come in and go through the build. And then we have another little moment here. So Bruno, we have the next generation of the Ward family in front of us. So we have like Judith Ward's daughter, and then her granddaughter, and now her great-great-granddaughter. Or I mean son now, I guess. But yeah, so they've had many of the children. Actually, there's been several born here. Oh, and then, oh, there we go. Yay. Oh, and they're gonna come out here and look around too, it looks like. So yeah, it's like kind of quick, but I love it because it's like, wee, yay. Oh my gosh, this is like so much fun. There we go. So yeah, he like worked. All the pool worked, because I wasn't sure at first if it would work. So like I had to go test it, you know, like we definitely had to. And here you go. So yep, now I'm like messing with this stuff. Just to, I love to use Tool for scaling things, because sometimes it's just a little too big or a little bit too small. And so that's where I like really kind of like look at that kind of stuff and think about it a little bit more. It's like, oh wow, okay. So yay. This is so much fun to kind of see unfold a little bit more, because like as time progresses through this, you'll see like some of the rooms kind of maintained what they were a little bit, and I just like grew them, like this black room, and really just kind of want to give a little bit more personality from the content that we've had since this came out, and really kind of see through the initial vision and idea that we had before. Oh, and then we're gonna go dive again. Oh, I love doing this. Cool. So that is so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love this game. And it's just like hilarious to be able to look around and then like see all the different things going on basically in the game is it's kind of unfolding a little bit here. So I wanted to go with something like of a different sort of design basically for the sidewall and not use like the typical art, just do something a little more like woodsy that maybe you could use for like a pegboard kind of thing. So we've got that in there. And then I just wanted to kind of give it a little bit more of like a conservative like vibe, I guess, with the palette and go a little more muted when it came to this upper level and really kind of just bring it more to like that very earthy, clean, modern approach with just like some homey vibes kind of throughout and like touches of that, but just bringing a lot more of that pastel stuff in and making it feel really, really fun and relaxing. So it's all just feels like a good cohesive design moment, and then you wouldn't have even known that before it was some like run-of-the-mill suburban build, you know, something way more than that. And here is another preview. So I just love kind of like, you know, going through and popping those in, and then I love cutting them into my vids. So here's more. So there's this, and sometimes I like creating the illusion of windows, especially in small hallways. And it'll help really bounce the light off of your surfaces a little bit more. So then it'll really help the light be more even throughout. So if you have weird shadowing issues, sometimes that'll help fix it. And then of course, I love our hexy pattern. And I hope in our next generation of The Sims, or maybe even in this one, they can figure out a way to make our patterns like smaller, like just scale the pattern a little bit. Cause I would love to have like the tinier, more like penny size hexy tiles would be really cool. So here we go. I'm just kind of bringing in the last little like fun pop-up pink room, as I called this. So it was just a lot of fun to put together, like a sweet like candy kind of coated bubble gum kind of like princess vibe basically in here. And I'm really excited too now that we have the update. So that's the cool thing about that, is that we can actually put things on top of the back of the toilet, the sink now, and we don't have to hold a bunch of buttons down and hit 9 key a bunch and shift and all that mess. Like, that was a lot. Yay! Okay, now they're gonna, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Oh. So, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? Oh, he's like picking on him. I think he accidentally like threw it at him, didn't he? I don't even know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there. I think he won. It's like there, he's still there. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I was like, I don't know which one won. Actually, I think I do. I think it was the Judith Ward's descendant Bruno. So he's already grown up now. He's like there and now moved on since and has like his own partner. And now we're doing their bedroom. So I really love playing with the color a lot in this, and it was just so much fun to kind of think and reimagine some of my original ideas, and then kind of like grow some of my ideas as well that I had originally had, because now we actually have the content to put it together. And before it was a lot more of like the bold, like heavy colors, and now it's neat to have more of like the pastel colors. And then I hope maybe we get a little bit more unique color palettes coming forward, but at least now it's gonna be really cool. So here's our baby room. Yes. Oh my gosh, watch it. It's like scary. The evil doll. I had to like do that. I had to add her. I was like, I need something in here. Like, that's the comic relief a little in that room. So I was just like, I don't know what direction to go with this one, but then I was like, it's not that direction. So then I came to this idea and was like, yeah, let's go with like the opposite of the other side. So I went with like a little darker, more tealy, turquoisey vibe, but then it's just leaps and bounds ahead of like what the design was before. And then all of the rooms like up here have the big walk-in closet, big bathroom, 4-piece, and then just this very nice glam deco sort of vibe. But then it's understated a little bit because, you know, it was like an old factory that's been converted, or it could be, or an old modern suburban house that was renovated into a modern oasis. such as the Poolside Modern Mansion. So now you can kind of see why it's called the Poolside Modern Mansion, because it is the pool of all pools that I've ever built, probably. Between the fountains, the invisible foundation, plus then all the like little details that I put throughout with the upstairs here on the roof lounge. I love this upstairs roof because there's like, I made all these like fun little niche areas. So you've got like these little spots for all kinds of fun stuff. For instance, you've got like a couple bubble rooms. You actually have a staircase that goes all the way down as well in another one of them. And then in another one of those like chunks or like columns, I guess you could say. And I love being able to use both levels of that table. Oh my gosh, it makes me so happy. And then this room was springy and bright, and I really wanted to kind of make that like the last little bit and round off the other bedrooms with more of that springy, like very optimist looking color palette. And then same with the outside here, and just give it very nice, like calming. I imagine if it was real life, it would smell super beautiful because of the flowers, the nice clean ferns that like to collect that fresh water from the rain. Love it. So here we go, just kind of bringing in the last little bits here in these last couple bedrooms. And then I just kind of pivot around a little bit more and make sure I got the last little bit of details. And then here at the end of the video, you'll see a gallery as well. So I've got like all kinds of like the before and after shots. So you definitely want to stay tuned for the rest of the video. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's a long one, but I hope it's worth it for you. And if anything, you can always slow down a little bit of the video as well, because yeah, it's quite fast, but there's a lot of different ideas here and tips and tricks that you could definitely use and steal by all means. I don't care. I just want to make sure that everybody can build to their best abilities that they care to have. Some people just are okay with not, you know, like really building anything to call home about, but other people want to be able to, you know, build things that they can scream off the top of the mountains for. So I'm hoping to help those builders like really feel more confident in their builds and create different content that, you know, kind of leave their mold a little bit too. Because sometimes we always get into a niche of like style that we really want to, that we just kind of like fall into a little bit. And so then it's hard to stay creative, and sometimes it gets boring a little bit because you're just so like involved in the same thing all the time that it can get stale. So I definitely recommend, if you're feeling it stale, to maybe try a different style, or take a build you've already built that you like and then renovate it into a different style. So this is now the tour, yay. So then we've got like the bedroom. I really wanted to keep the dark effect in this one, but I wanted to make sure that it was up more with more lighting than what the other room had that was dark before. So we've got that, and then I was like, whoa, these views, I want to make sure that no matter what, the views are good. Yeah, it still has a laundry. I ended up moving the laundry up here as well because I was like, you know, like you'd want it by the most of your bedrooms. And so here's the outside view as well. And then there's the different views of our fountain, pool, basically. And then I loved doing out here. It was so much fun. Like this was like one of my favorite, probably outdoors to put together of all of them. So I like went up and then back down like to look through everything, and was just like, oh my gosh, like look at all these different things basically. So we have like the bubble area, and then here's the back wall that's got our like really fun curtain wall, and then at night, you know, it's that purple, so I went that way with it too. And then oh, this side, so there's another one of the bubble blowers, and then like over here, stairs. I kind of like look at that a couple times, but then yeah, down here I am like really happy with how this wing of the house turned out. I think like with just the different color and all the different style that I basically put into it to try and make it like as cohesive together. So the palette, I really just went more, you know, muted up here, and then darker where the areas were most bright. And then really like towards the basement and stuff, I really wanted to just do something that was very cozy and less like mansion-y feel, you know, like maybe it was an old basement that existed before. So yeah, I was just like love using the new stuff, especially from the Maximus kit and then the high school years pack together. Those are really good, two cohesive products together. And I really love taking those and mixing them, I would say, because you can almost tell that they were in development at the same time. And then here's our bubblegum candy room. And then another laundry room. So yeah, there's 2 laundry rooms. And yay. Oh, here's that bathroom again. I pop in the same thing like a couple times. But yeah, so you can see it, and then just like how it looks from that way too. And then all down here. So now you're seeing like through here all the, oops. I was trying to cut out all that stuff, but sometimes like once in a while something makes it in. But you can kind of see just like the different direction and ways that I like to show things off too. But yeah, the fireplace is probably one of my most favorite features of this build because of the ability to be able to even do our own DIY fireplaces. And then for so long, it took me some time to figure out exactly how I wanted them to look and then lay out. So there's a million different ways that you could do it. But I kept thinking like, well, what if I add these different things, or a corbel, and then the immaculate, and do the ledges, and then it's like, and platforms, so you could do a hearth and all that kind of stuff too. So here is the exterior of this build, and then you go through, there's the outdoor, the pond, the pool. I mean, yay. Here's another view of this. So then you can see her, she's like super enjoying her fruit cake, and I'm like, fruit cake? Oh. But I really loved that office. And then like the kitchen, and trying to make that flow right there and that little bit of space. And then before that was basically sort of the living room before in the old design. And there wasn't even enough room for a big plant like that in the basement, like at all, because there was none. So I really like went heavy on the science sort of like idea on this one, and then maybe like, just like very sort of like sciencey and like rough around the edges a little bit. And then here's your another little pink room, but this one I did like extra in that one. Okay. Oh, and then I accidentally forgot a lamp in there. So I ended up putting a lamp at the end, as you can see there now. And then here is our stacks. So that's this build. Yay. Oh, yay. I'm so excited. Yes. Here it goes. And I was like trying to float it and do like a little bit of sort of like a stop motion, like a little bit here. And then also just to kind of see like different ways to look at this thing and bring it around. There you go. So, yep, now it's coming in. Then we're going to go back in one more time so you guys can see around this like little edge at night. Because I think just at night, it's like totally different view. And it's just like all together, just a totally different build almost when it's at night. So you can just see. And then here at the end, you're going to see like a bunch of still photos too. So I just kind of like went back through and do a couple like little views at everything and just peeksies around. So there you go. There's our build. And then here's the old one. Yes. So now you can see the old one. Yay. Oh my gosh, there it is. There's the new one. So now you're seeing the new one, the old one compared together. And here is the before and after. There you go. Before, after. Before, after. Before, then after. Yay, before the front, after. Yay. And I'm just like really proud of how it came out. And I really like being able to show that you can take a build and just totally reimagine it, even your own creation, and think like, oh, like what if I wanted to use it for something else? and just have it be something completely different. And so there's the front now, because like you couldn't even leave the front of the previous house because I hadn't intended the sidewalk to be there on the old one. And now you're seeing a lot of the replay. Here's some of the old and then the new again, just kind of showing the difference between the old bathroom concepts that were more like suburban and country, and now more modern and like elegant. And then even like the common area space. So there's the dining room comparisons. That's where that was. And then that's how that changed. Yep, see, that's how different it became. And then the front, I didn't use bathrooms at all. I just used them for bedrooms specifically and cut those out. So that's why it's like different there. So there is no bathroom anymore over there. It's all bedrooms. And then we have just a lot of different views here of like the bedrooms. So again, it's more country and craftsman style before, and now it's a lot more modern and then like elegant and then experimental a little bit as well. But just really to kind of give, you definitely ideas, take them if you want them, and suggestions, maybe some pairing ideas of how to make things like fit together a little bit. So there's one of the ready rooms. And then here's another one of the bedrooms. So I also do a ready room in there. So the full primary suites have 4-piece bathroom and a 4-piece. So you're talking like 4-piece bathroom, walk-in closet, ready room, and a primary bathroom. It's like, and primary bedroom. It's all just big. And then we really embraced like the really sort of like international style and essence, I guess, of this as well. Definitely. And then I just wanted to really create a lot more illusion of lighting and space and things like that with mirrors, and really chrome kind of became a thing in the early mid-20s or mid to late 20s as well, as that was discovered and then used. And then of course zinc and things then came in after that and then really helped like push that forward. So here is more of the views, and then there's another suggestion using the ceiling globe fixture with the fan. And then now we've got the stacking plan so you can see how everything fit together. And then down here all the way up, and then you're gonna see the comparisons between the two basically at this point. So those are all here. And then this is how it then changed. Yay! And then here's going down this side. So you can see it like really kind of how it formed together. And then the end. And now it's going back up. And I really enjoyed making it something like different and unique and just all around like something totally that you may never find on the gallery had I had not made it. So now I'm just kind of comparing the different plans a little bit so you can pause and definitely like, come back to it. But again, thank you so much everybody for taking the time to come and visit. I hope you have a great day, stay proud, and go do something magical. See you again soon.